I just finished reading Stephen King's Bag of Bones yesterday, and I'm a huge Stephen King fan. What is a pan? I'm a huge Stephen King fan. Excuse me. Within the last 3 years, two years ago, I think, I set a goal to eventually read all of these Stephen King books. And he writes a lot of books. He's written 60 plus so far, and he's still writing. He's coming up with another Dark Tower novel, which takes place in between the novels. But this was something else. I think this is very different from his usual writing style, and I can tell you this. This does have paranormal elements to it, but supernatural elements to it. But it's not a horror novel in any way. It is not horror. It's not scary either. It's not meant to frighten you. It's meant to sort of haunt you, leave you feeling sort of rush by you, it's supposed to make your spine tingle a bit, but it's a love story. It says on the back as well, a haunted love story. King wrote this in 98, I believe. At least it was published in 98. And the synopsis goes that there's a writer whose name is Mike Noonan. He lives in Maine, in King's town, fictional town of Derry. I'm pretty sure it's fictional. I'm not sure, but and there his wife has recently died, and she was pregnant, but he didn't know that. In the post-mortem, that's what they said, that she was diagnosed as pregnant. Well, it's not really a disease you can't diagnose, but anyway. So he's very depressed. He has severe writer's block. What he's doing is his publisher, his agent is pressuring him to release more and to write something and give it and send it over to him. But this guy's doing is he's written several other books within his life, and he's using those as auxiliary books. He's sort of sending them over, and when those are gone, he doesn't know what to do. So he's being plagued by dreams from his lake house up in Castle Rock, which is actually a fictional town, and a lot of King's books take place here, and it was actually based off the title of one chapter of Lord of the Flies. But anyway, he's being haunted by these nightmares, so he decides to go to Saralas, and maybe he can find some sort of rest there. He thinks there's something there. He doesn't know though. Goes over there, and he meets this woman, this very young woman. She's a widow already, and she's only around 21. Her name's Maddie DeVore, and he meets her daughter, who's about 2 or 3 years old. Her name is Kyra DeVore, and Maddie is the granddaughter of computer business tycoon. I'm not sure if he's a billionaire, but he's a multi-millionaire, and his name is Max DeVore, and there's this custody thing going on over Kyra. Max wants Kyra very badly, and it's described that Max usually gets what he wants. So Mike sort of goes out of his way to help this young woman, because he sees some sort of, I'm trying to figure out the word for it, some sort of redeeming factor for himself if he does that, and throughout his stay in there, he's being plagued by visitations from spirits and ghosts, and things are happening. He hears cries in the night, and everything starts being linked together, and it's very intriguing actually. Some people may find the first 100 or so pages boring. I can see that. I never found it boring. Found it very interesting. King really draws you in, makes you feel the sadness and the tension that Mike is going through right after Joe, his wife's death, and really works well. So a lot of people may find this boring. They may not have the patience. They want fast-paced books, shorter books. This book isn't one of his longer novels, but it's still about 500 pages with plenty of text on the page. But it's all right. It's fairly good in size. But But after that, the pace picks up. You know, the custody case gets going. There's lawyers. There's all sorts of stuff going on. There's death. There's lots of danger. There's an impending sense of, you know, Mike's trying to figure out what's going on, and then he figures out that before his wife's death, that she was making trips to Castle Rock, and she's trying to figure out what she was doing. Everything's sort of linked together. So in the end, it really works really well. And I can see people thinking the ending may be cheesy, but it's not. I don't consider it cheesy. I think it works very, very well. It's not that it hasn't been done before, but the way King describes it, it's very, very well done. It's a very surreal book. There's a lot of dream sequences, and the dream sequences are very vivid. You don't know what's what. You can't tell what's sort of. It's very lucid. You can't tell what's real, what's this real life is just fantasy. No, forget Bohemian Rhapsody. But yeah, he doesn't know what's real, what's fantasy. Well, I mean, sorry. You can't. The reader can't tell what's real, what's fantasy. It's sort of just out of your grasp, and it's very, very, very surreal. I can say that, and it's very haunting as well, because you sort of see, and it's about this blues singer actually. Her name is Sarah Tidwell, and it's after that's what his house in in Castle Rock is named after. It's called Sarah Laughs, because the blues singer Sarah Tidwell was known for her laughs and stuff. It's all linked to Sarah Tidwell, and there's a ghost involving Sarah Tidwell. And there's dream sequences involving Sarah Tidwell. Everything's linked, and everything feels, and you can tell something's going to happen. There's always this impending sense of doom in the book. It's very well done, and what King does in this book is he uses a lot of emotion. He expresses it, and to express this emotion it gets very deep. So to express this level of depth and this emotion, he can get a bit wordy, and I didn't find this a problem. I was enthralled by the book, every word of it, every page, but I can see people getting a bit turned off from the book by that. But through this emotion, and he also sets up each and every character really well in this in a slightly wordy manner, but like, for example, you can tell that, desire and lust is a big part of this book. Max DeVore and his right-hand woman, Rajette Whitmore, can tell they're crazy and they desire power. They get what they want usually. And then Mike Noonan, his desire is for some new purpose, some new direction in his life, because he doesn't know what to do. He's shaken after his wife's death. He doesn't know what to do. He needs something to do, and that's where he finds sort of restitution with Maddie DeVore. But you can tell he's sort of lusting for something else, and this is sort of like set over by a sexual overtone, I might say. But it works really well. I can tell what he's going for. It might seem kind of odd when I'm telling this to you, but in the book it works really well. It's really extremely well written. So without any further doubt, I can wholeheartedly recommend this book to anyone. If you want especially if you want something fresh, something out of the norm, something a bit different, I can definitely say this is that haunting, surreal, and a power punch of an ending book. So Stephen King's Bag of Bones. There you have it. I recommend it. Read it. Read other King. Whatever. King's good. I like Stephen King. Read him. Bye.